Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? It's your boy Dinari. And before we get started with another episode of the Young Boys Podcast, I want to let you guys know about Inherited Media. Now, what is Inherited Media, you may ask? It's a sports media collective run by my man Chris. If you like basketball, if you do podcasts such as mine, Young Boys Podcast, or you like doing photography like my man Aiden, or you like doing anything else, you like writing articles, hit us up at Inherited Media. There's a lot of good creators over there, and if you want to be a part of something special like that, hit us up. Let us know, and just follow us on IG at Inherited. Link is in the bio. And yeah, man. With all that being said, enjoy this episode of the Young Bulls Podcast. And peace. Jay, you got anything to say before this episode?
Follow.
Anything else?
Subscribe. Follow. Watch. Love. Support.
And support. Enjoy the episode, man. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? It's your boy Dinari here. Before we get started with today's episode of the Young Bulls Podcast, I wanted to let you guys know about this clothing company y'all need to go check out. It's called Solitary Faith Apparel. It's by my man Manny. He does a lot of clothing pieces, and he's got a website now. So if you guys like pieces like I do, and you like clothing just like me, I need to go check out Solitary Faith Apparel right now. His website is online. There's a lot of diamond tees, shorts, so a lot of stuff on there that you guys can go check out and buy. Tell him that the Young Bulls Podcast sent you. Go support, Manny. Support his business. Support his clothing apparel. And hope you guys enjoy the episode. And then again, website is Solitary Faith Apparel. And make sure y'all guys go follow the IG at SolitaryFaithClothing. I'll put it at the description and the bottom of this episode right here. But make sure you guys go check it out, Solitary Faith Clothing, and go cop yourself a piece or two. I know I will. Enjoy the episode. Peace.
Bro, Chris Paul has better handles than AI.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Brand new episode here of the Young Bulls Podcast. It's your boy Dinari here. I'll be back with another episode. Got my special guest. Y'all been hearing before every episode. This episode is presented by Solitary Faith Clothing and everything like that. But we got the man who's behind Solitary Faith Clothing right here. My former teammate at Stewart basketball, JV. But I just had to say it. I didn't want no misconceptions going around. But got my boy Manny here in the building. Manny, say what's up to the people, man.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Manny. As Dino introduced me, used to go to Stewart and we used to play ball together.
Yeah, JV ball. We got tons of minutes too. We both were on the court at the same time for sure. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man. So I decided to bring Manny on for this episode. He's been wanting to get on for a minute since he's found out that I've been doing this podcast, something like that. And basically, I'm going to use this episode, to give him the floor to talk to you about, his clothing line, what he's trying to do, what goals he got, and just how you guys can get involved and, purchase some stuff, because he has some nice apparel. So, man, without further ado, just go ahead, man.
Thank you, man. Once again, I'm going to say my name again, Manny Young. I'm a coach, trainer, someone that starts my own little clothing business called Solitary Faith, just like he told y'all. And me really, for real, like the person that really started it, like had an idea and was like, oh, let's do this, let's put this out there, was my boy Kylan Belt. So shout out to him. He was the one that made the website and stuff, helped me out with that, and gave me the idea of keep pushing for my dreams and stuff. So that's what we really decided to do. Put Solitary Faith out there. We really... What I was about to say? Hold on, my brain just went blank.
You good.
Okay. Oh, that's what I was saying. So yeah, me and my boy Colin Belt. He lives in Maryland, so that's where he's at. He doesn't live in Richmond, but that's where he's out. And met him over the game, and he's real cool people. So we got close over the game, and eventually we started talking about what we wanted to do, just to make money or just to do what we love. And both our dreams aligned with making clothes. So came up with this the clothing brand name Solitary Faith, and it's not just the name just Solitary Faith. The name of Solitary Faith has a meaning behind it. Have faith in solitude. And if you was to go check on my Instagram called SolitaryFaithClothing, in the highlights, it tells you the complete meaning behind it. Don't have it at the top of my head right now, but if y'all go check out my Instagram, y'all be able to see.
Got you.
So, what can I say about my clothing brand for real? Honestly, y'all just gotta check it out for yourselves. Like that's really
Fair
it.
enough.
Like,
Fair enough.
other than I can't really boost my head too much. Like y'all just gotta check it out for yourself. For real.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's really all I gotta say about the clothing business.
That's what's up. But my
Way
question
more.
is,
That's what I would say.
Oh.
Way more stuff is on the way though. Way more
Way
stuff.
more?
Yeah, way
all
more.
right, cool.
Way more.
Cool. Also, too, I wanted to ask you because, obviously I remember you from high school and everything like that.
Uh-huh.
So I remember, your like sports and everything like that. So I just wanted to know, like, how'd you even like get into training and like doing all that? Because I didn't even know about you doing like the training and stuff like that until really like recently, like when we were talking about you getting on the episode. So
Yeah.
before we even get back on the clothing tip, I just wanted to know like how you even get into that because that's actually impressive and everything.
It was when you were a senior in high school, and I was
Right.
a junior, and this dude called Khalil Johnson. His name's Khalil Johnson, and from there he came to our basketball practices, helped out with varsity, and from there I got connected with him, and we had conversations after practices every day after practice. Had conversations about my dreams and what he's doing and how our dreams align with each other, and we always talked about how we could work with each other. Didn't really pursue that until senior year, like close to the end of senior year, and you was a freshman in college.
Yeah.
Yes, freshman in college. Didn't really pursue that until like the end of my senior year, and after that, I was still playing basketball after a while. So after my senior year is when I really got onto what do I really want to do? Like, what do I really love? Do I love playing basketball? Do I love drawing? Do I love, like, you know what I'm saying? What do I really love to do?
Right.
And love helping people. That's one. Like, that was my biggest passion. I love helping people. Like, since middle school, I've been helping. Like, I would get up in front of the class and teach the whole class when the teacher couldn't really explain it to the whole class. High school, just helping classmates, helping people just around, just with life in general. And all the way up to now, helping people get to their dreams, basketball-wise, sports-wise, just in general. I'm also a mentor as well, somewhat of a mentor.
What?
I have.
What?
I'm just surprised you. I'm just throwing stuff.
Yeah, I know. This is cool though.
But yeah, and that's another reason why I started, like, the reason why I had the type of meaning behind my clothing brand is because I wanted to try to inspire people when they see my clothing brand. Maybe their day not going so well, but that when that package comes through and they see the clothing brand Solitary Faith and the meaning on the back of their shirt, the message on the back of their shirt, maybe make their day. So always been wanting to help people make their day, and some way, somehow impact people's lives.
I rock with that heavy. I rock with that heavy, man. That's a suck.
But yeah.
Yeah, man. I just want to be the first to say, if anybody hasn't told you yet, man, I'm proud of what you've been doing, man. I'm proud of what you've been doing. Because when I found out you're doing the clothing and stuff like that, I was like, you really found a lane for yourself. Because usually, especially when when you're going from high school to college and stuff, you got to have like either 1 to 2 options. You either go to college or, you find like work or something like that. But you're making your own lane and you're making money and you're doing your thing. So seriously, man, like, I'm proud of you, man. For real. So
I would say I didn't go straight to college. I think you know this. I didn't go straight to college. After I graduated from high school, I took a small gap year to really focus on myself. Because if you can't, you can't help anyone else if you don't know what you want on the inside, or if you are really helped on the inside. So I made sure I took that 1 year to focus on myself and figure out what I wanted to do with my life. So that was to train and help people.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to get out of doing this for sure. I found my lane with talking to people. Obviously, D1 didn't work out. Obviously, going D1 obviously playing the college ball didn't work out, but I wanted to find something that helped me like connect with people in ways that I wouldn't be able to do in person. Because I mean, honestly, I'm a welcoming person, but if I'm in a room with tons of people I don't know, I'm not gonna sit around and try to talk to everybody. So,
I get that.
yeah. So even with starting this podcast and everything, and I think you remember me starting this back when I was like in high school and stuff like that. And you see like now like how far it's come and everything like that. So being like, just being in this position, being able to do the things I've been able to do and work in place I've been able to work and talk to people, it's been special. And Manny, if you don't know it or not, you're like my second official sponsor for this, bro. Like you're my second sponsor I've had for this. So
that's fine.
So it's really cool, man, to just see like your journey, that you're being able to see my journey and everything like that. And then hopefully, late September, man, you're gonna be able to see me in a different facet because I'm gonna be able to be on the radio and stuff like that, and at the college up here. So
what? Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna
I'm gonna send you the link for sure. But I'm gonna be on the radio station up here promoting this too. So
that's fine.
It's a lot of stuff in the works, man. A lot of interviews I'm hoping to do, especially with the election coming up and everything like that. Trying to get some like in-person interviews, stuff like that going on. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff on the way for sure. But back to the clothing thing. My one question, I got a couple questions for you, but my first one I want to start off with was, what was like the hardest thing about you making your brand? Like, what was the biggest struggle when it came to you and making your brand? Because usually for people it's the brainstorming, it's the products in general, or just like the meaning behind it. Because, people these days, they just slap on, something on their shirts, and then they'll just call that, a clothing line. So,
yeah.
What's the hardest thing for you, man?
I wouldn't say the meaning behind it was the hardest, because instantly I knew how I wanted to impact the world. Instantly, right. I knew I wanted to have my clothing brand embrace some type of God, because I believe in God. You believe in God? I don't know if you do.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I believe in God, and I wanted to show that in everything I do. So instantly, I knew I wanted to do something with God. I would say honest. That's a great question.
I had to come prepared, bro.
I would say okay. I would say finding certain designs. Finding certain designs for shirts, because one, I wanted to make the shirts meaningful in every way. Every shirt has to be meaningful. Like every picture, every like word that's on the shirt has to be meaningful.
Right.
And finding a way to make it meaningful, but also make it look fashionable at the same time. Because you can have something meaningful, but if it doesn't look super fashionable, most people won't buy it.
I got you.
Also, back on like the training part, Khalil Johnson, shout out Khalil Johnson.
Shout out.
He brought something to my attention. He was like, yeah, these designs look cool and stuff, but think of Dreamville and how their clothing business is still popping, even though it's not the best looking clothing business. Best looking clothes.
You slap on Dreamville
on top of it. So I was like, okay, as long as I have a meaning behind this, at least some stuff is gonna get sold. So I would say finding the courage. That's what I would say. Finding the courage to actually start pushing my stuff out there, and really,
for sure.
Really, just pushing the stuff out there, throwing the ideas out there on the website, or throwing the ideas to other people, and seeing what responses I get. Because
for sure,
if nobody's gonna buy it, then I'm like, okay, might as well just stop doing it. But
right.
I started seeing people wanting to buy it, and
that's what's up, man.
And the courage to buy it.
That's what's up, man. Oh yeah, that's what's up. Because I feel like, especially with the podcast, something like that, I had some similar with that happening as well. Because when I first was in like the creative cycle with this, especially since this is the second time around. Because you remember the one like I said before, you remember the one I did in high school and everything.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah,
And
so
then a lot of people was like somewhat discouraging. I got
oh
it.
yeah. So it was like it's trying to find out like are people actually rocking with this because of what I'm talking about, or they were just only rocking with this
Because
because it's
like
just me.
they just know
Yeah,
you.
they just know me. So when I came back to do this the second time around, I really had to just sit down and just really think to myself like, if I'm doing this, I need to make sure I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this for anybody else. If I have one listener, I got to make sure that one listener is enjoying this just as much as 1,000 would be. So, just going in and just having a clear head and just being able to take criticism. That's like the most important thing. But don't mistake criticism for people just bashing your stuff. Like
Yeah.
protect what you got. So somebody saying, "Yo, I think you should do this or add more, or add this." Okay, I'll do that for sure. But if somebody's flat out saying, "Yo, this sucks, you should stop," obviously let's
Yeah.
not stop doing it. So,
Yeah. That
yeah,
that reminds me of like something Kobe said in one of his podcasts. That I think he was at his house and he was talking about how he was publishing a book
right,
and how he said he like tried to get it to like someone to publish it, and they were like, Kobe, like this is not gonna be sold by a lot of people. Like not a lot of people's gonna buy it. And Kobe sat back and thought to himself. He was like, I don't want a lot of people to buy it. I want that 1%.
right.
I want to touch that 1%. If that 1% starts getting touched by like what I'm being sold, then I'm doing my job. So
Right.
yeah, I get what you're saying. That just
Yeah.
reminded me of what Kobe said.
Yeah. So I feel like just both of us as creators and stuff like that, we've had like our different ways or like facets about going about doing certain things. So like I said before, man, I always think it's cool to find other creators who do things to make their mark on the world. But yeah. Yo, you got any questions for me while we at it, bro? You got any questions? Hey man, I'm asking you questions. I don't want to be asking you questions the whole time. You got any
I'm
questions?
fine with you asking me questions the whole time. I really like answering questions. I'm not gonna lie.
I got you.
Question that I do have, I would
What's
say
up? What's up?
for you, what was the hardest thing starting your podcast? Just in
Just
general.
getting it honestly, because mind you, for this one right here, or the one I did back at school.
This one right here.
All right, hardest thing about this one was just getting myself out there. Obviously, difference between doing it at Stewart and doing it at Temple is obviously class size and just how many people are going to the school. So not only was it hard just getting it out there and just continue to do it, but we have this thing here called Snap. We got like Snapchat and they got like the class of 2026 stories. So I remember when I first was starting, it was very one-dimensional. I was only posting audio files and stuff like that, but I wasn't posting any like videos or TikToks and stuff up until later on. Once I started doing that, I was, posting it on the stories and stuff and trying to get it out there. And that's when more people became involved and being like, yo, I didn't know you do this. Or, numerous run-ins of people saying, yo, you the dude who does a podcast. I've been called podcast boy up here before, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, man, it's been awesome. But I feel like the hardest thing for me is definitely was getting my name out there for sure. Because at a school where you're with 1,000 people, including athletes, research scholars, people who are just known around campus just off of who they are in general, doing something like this and getting your name out there, it's just, you just got to go for it. And then for anybody who's trying to do podcasting or they got something they're passionate about and they want to try, I feel like I can speak for both of us when we say, don't be afraid to put yourself out there to do it, because that can change your situation. That could potentially change your life by going out and taking that first step. I know people on campus who create clothes or make music who, if you would have told me a year ago that they're going to do that, I would have been like, okay, let's see what you are a year from now. And a person who's creating the clothes, his clothing brand is doing great. Almost everybody on campus is wearing his stuff. Shout out to Zion. And we got people making music and stuff who didn't even know made music, only seen them at the courts. And their music, they just dropped EPs and stuff. Shout out Rob, who's doing his thing and, rocking out. So if you have something that you're passionate about or that you're trying to do, don't be afraid to take that first step, because, you're a lot braver than everybody else who has plans, who doesn't want to take that first step or doesn't want to put in the work too. So I would say that for sure.
And
Yeah.
something back up off what Dino was saying, you're not gonna know what your first step is. Sometimes you gotta
Exactly.
take that step that you don't. You have to take that step of faith
Right.
and trust that even if you do miss that step, there's gonna be a trampoline directly under that step that'll bounce your foot right back up to take that step. Try to take that step again. So have
Right.
faith that you'll be led in the right path. As long as you be true to yourself and be true in what you stand for, you'll be
Right.
leading in the
Also,
right path. Go ahead.
also too, also too, I would say another thing that's really important that you got to understand as a creator as well. Your journey is not going to be the same as everybody else's. That's the biggest thing I had to take away from starting this, is that my journey with doing this is not going to be the same as everybody else who has done podcasts before. There's people who literally off of TikTok clips alone have gotten over 1K, 100K followers, 1,000, million people to like their stuff, and they drop merch at the drop of a dime and stuff like that. That's not going to happen for everyone. You're going to have to like slowly grind this up and build on it. You're not everyone's gonna be able to get 1,000 plays overnight. For some, it takes literally. For me, it took like 2 years to get to that. So, and just like with Manny, with your clothing line, like it's not gonna grow overnight, but you're gonna see that steady growth with it. Obviously, I feel like you could say now that when you first started, because when you started this clothing brand, like
Honestly,
yeah, go ahead.
I started this year. I would say maybe 2 months or 2 months and a half ago.
All right.
And I can see like it's a lot of progress from when I first started having nobody following my account to having like at least getting closer to 100.
Yeah, so like I'm saying, so literally when it comes to it, your journey's not gonna be the same. But also too, respect your journey and keep going on your path. And don't compare yourself to anybody else's progress either, because as people said before, comparison is the thief of joy. So, don't be doing stuff like that. But back to your clothing. I guess, man. But back to your clothing thing, man, because I've been getting too much wisdom. Manny, what's some advice for any people who want to design clothes, who wants to make clothes, who wants to do things like that? What do you got to say to those people who are afraid to start designing or don't know where to start? How did you even come up with the idea of, I want to make clothes?
You are these questions, bro.
Bro, I told you I had to be prepared, bro.
I'll give three things. First,
all right,
find what you are passionate about. That's one. Find what you love. If you want to start clothing and you love doing clothing, what is another thing you love doing in general?
Right.
If it's like food, dealing with food, if it's something like family wise, find just something that's like really important to you.
All right.
Second, find a way to put that thing that you really love into a concise meaning, like in 2 words, maybe even 1 word. Then after that, just start brainstorming ideas and being creative. Be fully creative. Don't be afraid of what other people think. Be true to yourself and be like, have fun during the journey as well. Like, be true to yourself while being creative, and remember that you're making this clothes because you're having fun doing it. Don't forget about that joy that you have while making the clothes, and don't let you not seeing the progression within weeks and not seeing a bunch of sales within weeks ruin that joy. Always remember that you're doing what you're doing now because you love doing it, and always continue to love doing it. Right. And if you're not doing it, like if you're doing it and you're not loving what you're doing, maybe you gotta choose something else. But always make sure you're trying your hardest to do what you love. So that's what I say.
Yeah, that's good right there. That's good right there. Because I know a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people start to pick up on projects and stuff, and they'll keep doing it and they find it fun for a while, but then they stop enjoying it, so then they don't put the love and effort into it. And I feel like that's very important, that if you're doing something, make sure you're doing it because you want to do it and not because you think, it's gonna satisfy this or that, like, you know, or it's gonna get you status or anything like that. Make sure you do it because you want to do it, and you know, so make sure you do it because you want to do it, and
And
make sure that. Oh, go ahead.
People will see that, like, if you're just doing it just to do it, they're gonna notice, like, they're gonna realize it and see that you're just doing it just to do it, just by the way it'll come out into the world. If you're fully putting your full heart in this, like, if you put your all into this, like, that hard work that you put into this will eventually come back to you. Like, there's a saying that, once again, shout out Khalil. A saying that Khalil told me. He was like, whatever you put out into this universe, into this world, you'll get in return. You can't get anything without giving something. So if that's you giving all your love into this one thing, you'll get back something greater in return.
All right. Well said. You said I was coming with wisdom today. You're definitely bringing the wisdom today. But yeah,
I've tried.
Yeah, but let's see if I got any more questions. Because that's really a good point too. I mean, I've heard that from my mom tons of times with, you know, just with the podcast alone, and definitely from my friends. Like, you know, make sure you're putting out, you know, content that can, you know, not only can last, but make sure you're putting out content that when you look back on it, you can see the growth. I can definitely see a major difference between the first time I dropped an episode versus my most recent one, just off the fact that it just sounds more, you know, has more oomph to it for sure.
Yeah.
So, you know, and you saying that you can see the growth between, you know, your first follow with the clothing page versus your, you know, your most recent one, and just the site all alone, just it's a testament to your growth and to what you've been doing, man. So, like I said before, I know I said this like twice already, but really proud of you, man. Really proud of you, man.
Thank you, bro.
Because, like, when I was a senior, I don't know if you were like, man, like, I was basically like, it's your time to shine, man. It's your time to shine, like, next year. And I remember you were always in the lounge and everything, and they had to kick you out the lounge.
Freshman year, I would always just come to the senior lounge.
They had to kick you out the lounge and everything like that, man. But yeah, I definitely, even just with two just African American kids at that school, man, knowing how, like, small it is for us out there, just seeing you just do your thing, man, and then you seeing me do my thing, man. I just hope, you know, not only are you inspired, but you continue just doing what you've been doing, because, like I said, you've been doing a great job, so just keep pushing for sure. But next question I got, what has been the most rewarding part about doing your clothing? What's the most rewarding thing? Like, when you see something, like, you know, rewarding could be, you know, seeing somebody wear your stuff, or, you know, see people, you know, saying keep going and stuff like that. Like, what's been the most rewarding part for you with this clothing brand?
Ooh. Okay, I would say the most rewarding thing with this clothing brand was me making a design on, like, my iPad or my laptop, my phone, then getting someone else, like one of my manufacturers, to make it and then ship it to me, and seeing the outcome on the shirt. Like, whenever I see, like, I make a design, throw it out to the shipper, and the shipper brings it back out to me, and I see how it comes out on the shirt, like, that really makes me happy. So, and then that also shows, like, okay, yes, I really did put my all into this. Yes, I love the quality of this shirt. Okay, I can give this out to the people out there now. I can really go try to sell this, put this on my website. So, seeing my hard work first before I give it out to other people is the thing that is most rewarding to me.
That's what's up. Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. I know that must have been, you know, just like a huge happy feeling for you, man. Just not only seeing people wearing your stuff, but just seeing people know about your stuff too. That must be like a real great feeling for you, and it must be something that you really enjoyed a lot. Yeah. For sure. For me, man, I feel like I said before, when people call me podcast boy and stuff like that, I mean, I don't know where the nickname came from, bro, but honestly, most rewarding thing for me with this whole thing has just been the fact that people said that, I've listened to it, or, I didn't know you did this, but proud of you and stuff like that. So that's really been cool. Also, too, it's like, I don't know if you remember this. Were you at my graduation?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember this or not, but when Mr. Frank was going through all the kids and everything and talking about what they like to do and stuff like that, and then he came to my name, he started talking about like the podcast and stuff like that.
Yes. I was
So
like, that really
so I was like, what? Like you don't know about this, but it felt really cool just hearing the principal say that, and I know that was early. That wasn't even with this one, but I feel like that just motivated me to keep going as well. And then just, support from family and stuff like that too. And people just really taking it serious that I, and believing in me that I could, make something like this shake. So I feel like that's been the most rewarding part for me. All right. I got like 2 more questions for you, and then I promise I'll stop asking questions. I promise. All right. So I already asked you about advice. What do you think is like the hardest thing about getting into clothing? What do you think? I don't know if I asked this already. What do you think is the hardest thing about getting into clothing, or just doing something like that in general? What is the hardest thing about it? Outside of obviously the idea, what is the hardest thing after that, about getting into clothing?
I would say figuring out how to be different. Like, a lot of these clothing brands that's popping out now is really backing off like other clothing brands, which is okay. You should do that as well. Back off a little bit, get some of your ideas from other clothing brands. But knowing how to get that stuff from the other clothing brands, but also twist it in your own way so you're more different and other people see the value in your stuff. That's what I would say. Then also figuring out if you want to do shirts, if you want to do pants, if you want to do hoodies or stuff like that. Because right now I'm stuck on shirts and shorts. I'm trying to design, trying to find some designs for pants and hoodies.
Right.
But I got some stuff in the workshop right now.
Got you.
Hoodies and pants.
Got you. All right, and then my last question for you, bro. Last question. Let's see. Last question for you. Yeah, I'll ask you. Last question I got for you, Manny, is when it comes to this clothing brand, what do you want your legacy to be with this, man? What do you want your lasting legacy to be when it's all said and done with this clothing brand, what you've been doing? It doesn't even have to just be with clothing, it could be with training as well, or just in general. What do you want your legacy to be with all this after it's all said and done? And if you want, after you answer, you can ask that same question too, because, yeah, go ahead. Something, didn't it?
Got me thinking about life over here.
I'm just saying, bro.
Okay, thinking about my senior speech.
Mm-hmm.
Just think all the way back then to when you remember. No, you wasn't there for my senior speech, but during my senior speech, I was talking about family,
right?
And just you see how I'm talking now. That's basically how I'm talking during my senior speech,
right?
So basically, the thing I was answering was this question: how do I want to be remembered when I leave school?
Right.
And back then I answered, I want to be remembered as someone that loves their family, and no matter what happens, you always have someone in your corner.
Right.
But dealing with this, that kind of changed a little bit more. Like, it's yes, still want that, but also there's power in solitude. There's power in being alone, because when you're alone, think of like a gem. Diamonds come from you putting pressure on a piece of coal with a bunch of heat.
Right.
And in order for that diamond to come out the best diamond as possible, it has to be a piece of coal by itself, and you put the pressure on it and put heat on it. So remembering being by yourself, yeah, it's gonna be hard. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of pressure, and yes, you're gonna get stressed and get frustrated, which comes with the heat. But after you get through all that, and all that pressure and heat relieves from you, a diamond's gonna come out. So I would say during that solitude, actually embrace that solitude and really try to find yourself.
All right.
Yeah, so power in solitude. That's what I want my legacy to be.
All right, got you. And you want me to answer it too?
Yeah.
All right. For me, man, when it's all said and done with this podcast, or just in general, I just want to be remembered as somebody who made a difference. Use his voice to not just talk about sports and stuff, but to just talk about things that and just, inspire people to be great. I feel like for me, just stepping into this lane alone, it's a tough field for sure, because anybody and everybody started podcasting. But I can only do so much, but I can only put my own spark to it and make it different than everybody else's. I mean, I said to you before, and I said on a recent episode, that one thing I was trying to do this year with the podcast was, during election season, go out and do in-person interviews, go talk to people, go interview people about it. So, and I thought about it too, and I was like, I could do that for sure. But just seeing how far I've come with this, and just seeing how many people believe in me and believe in the talent and just what I can do, I feel like that's motivated me enough to just continue to put out good work. But I just want to be remembered as somebody who was serious about what he's trying to do, wants to make a difference, and wants to inspire the next generation as well. Because let's face it, I'm not going to be, when I turn 60, unless I'm getting crazy checks, I'm not going to still be doing this. I'm not going to still be doing this. But, I want to be remembered as somebody who doesn't do it for the money, but just does it because he wants to do it, because he likes what he's been doing. And just like with you, what I hope with the clothing thing, I mean, you've been blessed to be able to see a lot of things happen based off of this clothing thing. Cha-ching, so you've been seeing, so you've been seeing a lot of things happen. And with this podcast, I've been able to experience stuff. Last year I was able to go see Wallow and Gilly at Creator Day. You know who Wallow and Gilly are, right? $1 million worth of game. The short bald dude. You never heard of him?
Never in my life.
If you search him up, I promise you'll remember. You know who I'm talking about.
I disappointed you just now.
Yeah, because they're really famous and stuff. I would think you knew him, but it's cool. No. But I was able to meet I was able to see them at Creator Day. I was able to see one of the head people at Google at Creator Day last year. I was able to talk to a lot of people and network with a lot of people and do certain things and learn more about the business and stuff like that, and knowledge that I didn't even know about up until last year. So it's really been a thing where you assess what you got, but you also can find ways to grow it and do certain things that you wouldn't have had the opportunity to do if you didn't take that first step, which goes back to what you said about going out and doing certain things. You never know what's behind that door if you crack it open. If it's nothing there, it's nothing there. But for most people, there's a start. And even if there's nothing there at that door, make some stuff happen so that you go back into that door and there's still going to be stuff there to help you, continue to succeed. So, yeah, I'm doing all this rambling right now, yapping right now. But really, I just want to be somebody that's making people proud at the end of the day, and somebody who, when it's all said and done, and long after this microphone goes into the storage bin,
storage bin.
Yeah, long after this microphone goes into the storage bin, somebody who, if you ask about what I did, they said he did good in what he had to do. He did good with the podcast, and podcast boy was doing his thing. So yeah, but
when I came on this campus, and I told people that, everything I've done, I'm doing right now, they were like, "Oh, you all around Manny." I was like, "What?" I've never heard that in my life. All around Manny.
And also too, especially in college too, or just in general, it's so easy to just see what other people got going on. You think that you're not doing enough, and you can have that doubt, am I doing enough? Is this still something that is attainable for me? But another thing you gotta realize is that you doing enough for you, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what doing enough means to other people, because to other people, cleaning up their room could be doing enough. Doing certain things like that could be doing enough. But for you to understand what that means, that's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, this, like I said before, this is your journey. So if you don't understand what it's like to do enough, or to do enough to the point where you don't want to do anymore, then this may not be the thing for you. So that's the most important thing. Also, too, can't stress it enough. Keep working, keep doing what you're doing, because that's the most important thing. To keep putting out work and doing things like that, because eventually all it's gonna take is one person who high value whatever says, "Yo, I like your brand, I like what you got going on. I want to wear some of your products and stuff like that," and boom, that's what it is. And also, too, somewhere down the line, we gotta make a clothing piece, a collab or something for sure. So collab or something for sure.
The young solitary bulls.
Hey. That sounds cool. That sounds something that we gotta do.
The young faithful bulls.
We definitely gotta talk about that after this thing is over. But Manny, you got any final words you want to say to anybody, man? Any final words?
I'll say the last thing before we get off this, before we end this. Always not just stay true to yourself, because even if you do stay true to yourself, there's going to be hiccups where you want to stay truly to yourself while doing the wrong thing. Stay true to God. Like, make sure you put everything that you're doing in God's hand. And those steps that you can't see won't be so scary to take those steps. Right. Because you have the faith that God is going to make sure he holds you up or put something under your foot if you start missing steps. So, have faith in God, trust that there is power in solitude, and have faith.
Word. That's what's up. And so that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope everybody who listens to this episode, they got something for it. Creators, if you're just starting to do something, or you feel that you're stuck, you're not. Just keep keep staying your course, and keep, brainstorming and doing certain things to get your stuff out there, man. Manny is not going to be the only creator I get on this podcast. I'm hoping to get a whole lot more people who do certain things, Lash Techs, people who other design clothing and do other certain things like that. So, if you're a creator, if you're on Temple's campus, or you're in my hometown of Richmond, like Manny here, and you want to get on the podcast, man, just let me know. I'm an open book, so just hit me up on the DMs, whatever like that, or hit the podcast up at YB Pod. But, Manny, can't stress it enough. And JV Superstars, to doing your own clothing thing, man. Proud of you, man. Proud of what you've been doing. I'm proud to see you making an impact on the world. And I expect nothing but great things going forward for you, man.
Same with you, bro.
For sure. I have to keep going. But that's going to do it for this episode, man. As always, follow us at YB Pod on IG. Follow Manny. What's the IG for Solitary Faith for your clothing?
At Solitary Faith Clothing, and
I'll put it in the description too. Because
all that spelling.
Yeah.
You're gonna be looking at me crazy if I spell solitary.
Yeah, I'll put it in the description for sure. Make sure you guys go follow that. Make sure you guys go, just check out the page. Go cop something. For sure.
So make sure you don't disturb anybody, okay?
Yeah.
Go cop something. But thank you guys for tuning in, and peace.
Peace.